Bengaluru dubbed as the Silicon Valley of this country. I have with me a whole bunch of IT employees who really comprise of the city's character. They've been here as local as can get. They could give us a little sense on what the Silicon Valley was and how it is today. Are they happy with its progress? Are there some challenges that they're facing? Is there a change that they want to see? Thank you very much. I've got them right in the morning, right opposite this installation of the Tejas aircraft in Bengaluru. I know the country is right now in high spirits post the India-Pakistan conflict, our successful Operation Sindoor. So this would have been an apt place to get this chat with you. Of course, our News 9 bus there traversing through Bengaluru city. We've managed to get just a few minutes of permission here to stop by. But let me start with you. You seem quite relaxed Sunday morning. What's been the last 24 hours like with the rains in Bangalore?
I think it's absolutely a fine day. Thank you, Labila, and thanks to have all my colleagues here. And Bangalore, being a Bangalorean for the last 40 years, I think this is a city which inspires everybody.
Yeah.
In spite of all the challenges we have, I think everybody loves this city. 1.7 crore people in Bangalore
Yeah.
is an amazing place to work, Kabban Park, and we bring all people to work here. Then we have the networking, then we have the breakfast.
You network at Kabban Park.
Absolutely,
Right.
absolutely, absolutely. And if you talk to some of our teammates who are part of this team, they would love to come to this walking all the time.
How nice.
In spite of
I really thought IT employees don't have work-life balance, but y'all really make a nice Sunday of yourself.
It is indeed. Sunday is a breakthrough for us
Yeah.
from all the routine tasks.
Yeah.
And here we are. And we have people who travel across Bangalore,
But you come all the way. What part of Bangalore you
North
live in?
Bangalore.
Okay. So that's
So-
where the IT parks are. I think IT parks are spread across.
Spread across, North is happening now.
Yes.
And then, you talked about the commute and
Yeah,
the public
yeah.
transport. This North Bangalore is something that is denied of
Denied.
the metro and the
Okay,
public transport. So, but
yeah.
yes, people have their charm to.
How do you come then? You're saying North Bangalore is denied of a robust public transport system. How do you travel? If you have to come all the way to Kabban Park, you're using your cars.
Cabs.
Cabs.
Yeah, because also one other thing that we want to promote is we don't want to use our own cars and
Which is why you need a good public transport system,
Absolutely.
right?
So-
we as leaders, we believe in carpooling. So we
Yeah.
have benchmarked that today.
How nice.
All of us have pooled. And four of us have come in a car so that it helps all of us to reach early.
I mean, you're conscious, right? But what about the conscience of the rest of the IT sector, or just anyone, me included? I'm a Bangalorean, but I end up using my car more often. It's just convenience, but at least you're being conscious about the environment. That said, the responsibility should be on the government to provide you as a taxpayer. Is that what is missing? First, let's begin with how's your day?
Oh, it's wonderful. I think she also forgot to mention that it rained last night and
Yeah.
it's more beautiful.
That's what I mentioned.
Because, yeah. Yeah, I think, I take public transport plus the cabs on daily
Nice,
basis. I don't drive my car. I think that's fantastic. That works for me, yes.
But you believe that there could be a better public transport network? Of course, you.
Yes, of course,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah, with the metro coming in, I
Yeah.
think that should cut down our travel time in the city, yes.
Metro is just constantly under construction. Every time I'm back home to Bengaluru, I'm seeing another line being constructed. End-to-end connectivity seems to be lacking.
Yeah, I think urban mobility is the key
Yeah.
to decongest the traffic. And then one is that, okay, so we are doing that, that operation is doing that, human operation is happening at like all the times, right? So in most of the IT corridors, they have all the works is happening, the improvements are doing that metro work or that transportations and all of them. So we also suggest government to have more metro feeders to campuses and all of them. See, we will have to do that private to public. So we have to transfer to the public transportation. So the more and more adoption in public transportation, so the city congestion just goes less.
Right.
So one corridor, 5 lakhs vehicles, and then all these metro works and other works are happening. I think becomes very tough to handle that. So we'll have to have urban mobility expert, and then department comes out and gives us
And Bangalore has the best urban mobility experts, but somehow we've not been able to crack the code. The one thing that I've heard, I don't know if these are excuses or it's legit. Okay, well, let's agree it is a difficulty that experts are also facing, that we're looking at a Bangalore which was more of a town, a cantonment in the British era that flexed itself into a city, and now it's almost equivalent to one entire state. The population of Bangalore is just booming, and it's hard as it is is to cater to just everyone?
I think Bangalore has been Silicon City for last 25 years. I think it's more miss on the managing or organizing or planning.
Yeah.
That there is a big mess.
Yes.
You see Bombay, it's also congested.
Yeah.
But there is a better planning. I think the traffic planning
Have
is
you
not.
built over lakes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's more planning rather than Bangalore has all the ability to expand. But
You're saying
the planning.
poor
is-
planning.
Yeah.
Give me one example of poor planning.
I think you hardly find over bridges.
Yeah.
So many signals across. Now multi bridges you can create.
Very true.
So there are a lot of even U-turns.
Yeah.
You don't have U-turns here.
Yeah.
You have just signals. So no. So I'm not saying it's bad. The city is bad. City is very good.
We can do far better.
We can do far better in planning the traffic. City has awesome.
Yeah.
You know,
How do you undo this? I mean, now that it's set, Bangalore's set in its ways. Where do you begin?
No, so what I feel what he said makes a lot of sense in the context that when they are planning to do something, they are just looking at a couple of years or 5 years plan. I think Bangalore is growing so massively that you got to keep a 10-year plan to keep in mind the number of people who are coming in. The beautiful city has such a beautiful climate and everybody wants to be here. So I think the capacity that they are analyzing and trying to do something, I think they need to double it up. Only then something will work. Otherwise, you
Double up the infrastructure.
Yeah. So otherwise, you're like doing what
And
you're
you believe
doing.
there's space to double up.
There is. If you want to make it right, the
Yeah.
right time, the first time, make it right, you can do it. Because now, as I travel towards the Sarjapur road, I have to leave at 7 in the morning to
Yeah.
reach there by 8,
Yeah.
8:05.
Yeah.
And then Jay had a valid point last time when we all had a SIRE conference. He
Yeah.
was requesting that can we ensure that employees who are traveling on that road to come in different days.
Yeah.
Not everybody coming on Tuesday, Thursday, Wednesday.
Correct.
Because that is clogging the road and nobody can go. And I'm already worried now if the school buses start, we're all caught in the road. We can't move anywhere.
It's holiday season right now.
have more Volvo buses, AC buses. That will help instead of cars on the road.
Right. Cars on the road. Well, public transport is certainly the way out. But
Just wanted to say one more thing is that the collaboration and sync is missing.
Yeah.
Because we see the road, is done today,
Yeah.
and tomorrow somebody is digging the road. So I think that collaboration is not there, between the departments, which is the real miss, in Bangalore, what I see.
They have a greater Bengaluru Governance Act that they've come up with promising that all these concerns will be addressed, that they are now going to have Bangalore split into multiple corporations. So each sector will get, micro focus on its.
And there's something called ULDT that they have formed, but I don't think how effectively they are performing.
Okay.
As he pointed, there is something one department does, there is no coordination.
No coordination. Yeah, and there's that many departments, that many heavy jargons, nomenclature, for the common man to even understand. Ultimately, the effect on the ground is zilch.
True. One major thing that we always missed last 25 years, as somebody said, the development has always outpaced the policy of the government.
Correct.
That is development, that is real estate, obviously, that's talent pool.
Yeah.
Talent pool is attracting development. Development is not backed by the policies, which is actually lacking. So if you say for the last 15, 20 years, we've been seeing this same problem. Traffic has been a big problem for the city. Taking into consideration any damn development that they do, it will always outpace the population that is coming in.
Yeah.
So there is always a catch-22 for the government as well.
Yeah.
While they're trying the best, I think there is more that needs to be coming in. If they have more PPP model that works, probably that can bring in a lot of reckless.
So I sense that the biggest problem for the IT sector is traffic.
Yeah, traffic is one of the issues, especially with the hybrid working mode. People are sort of asked to come about 3 to 4 days, and in that, like as Madam said, right? I mean, it sort of clogs the road. They spend about 1 to 2 hours, and IT is not like a 9 to 5 job, right? So like after going back home as well, you might have some calls with your counterparts across the world. So it sort of stretches them, and that sort of eats up into the work-life balance. The other key thing, apart from the infrastructure challenge that the IT community is really facing now, is I think of late we have been seeing a lot of news about the layoffs, right? And lot of things are triggering those layoffs, right? I mean, automation is one, AI is another factor, business changes, priority changes, all of those are factors. But I think there has not been enough done for this IT community who have been laid off.
Right.
Not many people are talking about them. they are just seen as these many numbers have been laid off. But
correct.
what happens to them? What happens to their family after that?
Yeah.
Right? A lot of people don't even have insurance cover for themselves,
Absolutely.
apart from the employee coverage or employer coverage. Right? So once they are out of the job, they and their family are at the risk of like not having any insurance coverage. Right? So people who might be expecting delivery. Right? So it's like what happens when you just are laid off and you have a baby you are expecting. What happens to them? Right? So those things need to be really focused and addressed. And also, if you look at
Is there anyone doing it? Is there anyone in the world focusing on uplifting those who have been laid off, for whatever reasons? AI now is...
See US policies, if you are laid off, even then you get money.
Right.
So here we have a free, freebies work culture, freebies culture,
Yeah.
but we don't pay the people who pay insurance, pay premium to the government,
Yeah.
like your taxes.
Yes.
We are not taken care.
Yeah. Very
That's-
well said. Well, US has a policy of paying those who are laid off as well.
unemployment checks and stuff like that. I mean, if you look at like a state like Karnataka, right? Apart from paying direct taxation to the central government, there is also something called as professional tax being paid to the state. That's a direct taxation, right? So, can we really think about how to use that to give back to the people who are actually going through layoffs, right? Some sort of a corpus fund,
Yeah.
right? Which can really do the same thing like
Right.
US, right?
Yeah.
Like an unemployment check,
Correct.
at least to sustain them for about 6 months to 1 year, right?
Right.
If that is something that we can do, which is practical and realistic within the state control, right? I mean, there are the funny part is a lot of companies don't even do severance, and some of the companies who actually pay severance, the funny part is, as per the Income Tax Act, it is treated as a income,
Yeah.
and the severance is also taxed.
Taxable, yeah.
So
yeah.
just to put it in a
Yeah.
perspective, Labila,
Yeah.
we all are part of a platform called...
And more context, you have Apple office right behind you, right there. So
Just to put it in perspective, we all are part of a platform called CCIRE,
Right.
which is Consortium of Corporates in Research and Education.
Right.
We work towards the upliftment of people, community, IT parks. The request from our side to the government is that last 2 years back, this particular platform approached government saying that we will support you in urban mobilization. We said between BTM to Hebal, we manage that road and we will ensure that we bring in the fund, we will manage that.
Yeah.
The proposal is still with them. Our request to government is that they should talk to people who are in the mode of creating some kind of a noise to the Bangalore
Yeah.
and talk to us. I'm not taking the talk to us, talk to SIRE, talk to NASCOM, talk to the Bangalore Urban Mobility Center. Then we have Orca is with them.
who do you expect should initiate this talk?
It should be somebody who's managing the Bangalore urban mobility. Like we have met Mr. Karge, we have met Mr. D.K. Shivkumar, we have met Mr. Santosh Lad. They said they will do something to us, but it needs to be moved because this 1.7 crore will become 2 crore in no time. We need to act fast. And we as corporates, we are with them. We are willing to work with them. You could see these 20 people today. We can be 2,000 people tomorrow. They should take our support. They should take our guidance, and we will be able to partner with them.
Yeah, that's great. That's on mobility, you say.
Absolutely.
All right. Now on layoffs, that's a set of layoffs. On the background that we have for you, our News 9 has launched this bus. We are finding it difficult to traverse through Bangalore roads. Why don't you tell us what's your real challenge as a professional within the
See,
IT
I have a
sector?
different view. I agree with Jay and my colleagues that the population here is 1.7 crores.
Yeah.
And there's rapid growth of the city which is happening. At the same time, you can see government is also putting effort in terms of bringing in new technology. Like if you see in the same road, Trinity Circle, you have something called vehicle management system or vehicle monitoring system which is introduced. So which sees the number of vehicles which is coming in, and accordingly it gives you the direction, which direction you have to go.
Right.
But as citizens, what are we doing? It's easy to say that there are challenges, yes, but from our end, what are the steps which we have taken is also very important. Yeah, see, now there is,
Where have we failed? Let's get there.
see, we are focusing more on problems, Yeah.
And what the government hasn't given us.
hasn't given, but what they have given, how are we utilizing it? That is one place we all need to concentrate on.
Anything
Say
that
there is
you-
a waste management bins which is provided, but how many of us segregate that waste and put it? There's the people tell that you maintain a speed of 40, don't cross. But if you see here now, all the vehicles are parked on the zebra crossing. We are also not following. And hats off to the department, traffic department. They're managing such a huge crowd during the peak hours, and they're doing their job. So
Very
I
well
mean, for me, it's what we do is going to come back to us.
Correct. Now, I agree how are you managing what has been given to you, but at the same time, I think there could be better infrastructure to begin with also, right?
See-
You can demand, you're very well within your right as a taxpayer to demand a better infrastructure, and then you can take the blame on yourself for not living up.
No, we have the world's best infrastructure in city.
Yeah.
You have all the big companies which is coming in.
What about water crisis? What about building over lakes? What about lack of robust public transport system, no end-to-end connectivity? These are also areas that frustrates the common
See,
person.
government gave transport in the ORR, but how many of us used it? In the outer ring road, there was a separate lane which was done for the transport. Cycle lane. How many of us used it? I think majority of us would not have enough used that.
Okay, but you can't expect everyone to use a cycle lane. But that
Not a
said,
cycle
is
lane,
there...
It was a dedicated lane for bus like how it has been done in other cities. But it failed because we started getting into the bus lane, we started pushing it. Yeah.
Civic sense
This bus
is
lane
lacking.
across country has failed. Bus lane doesn't work. In Delhi, bus lane was removed after putting crores. So we should not copy what doesn't work, you know.
Basically, you're saying that we're too big a population for...
The pits on the roads.
Multiple things to look at.
Pits on the
Basically, I
road.
think what's happening is the government needs to be more innovative. We know there is an influx of individuals, of corporates, and our policies are not one of the easiest in the country, right? You talk about Tamil Nadu, you talk about Andhra Pradesh, or the policies are stringent, but still people want to come here. Government should see how you want to encash on this, right? And bring out innovative thought, like Jairam and a couple of others said, like Pramod said. I think we need to have that partnership with corporate leaders, because government, like he said, we cannot allow everything to be on the shoulders of the government. Now, how can they draw intellectual, capabilities from people in corporate world, leadership teams? They should be able to, use them in their decision making or policy making, and see what works best for the industry. I think that's a key.
So,
The government should invite people who make sense to them in terms of execution of the work.
I did have a chat on the Greater Governance Bill and the Act now, and I spoke with Rizwan Arshad. Did say that the lot many more people you get involved, the lot more delay that would be expected. You have many minds, many people spoiling the broth. The actual delivery then takes forever. So they've actually cut off the area sabas that originally prevailed to ensure that work happens faster. So
I'll give you a kind of a small demography. If you look at today, Bangalore is 120 kilometers. Whitefield, Electronic City, Outer Ring Road, CBD, South Bangalore, North Bangalore. Now the STRR is coming around Bangalore, which is 282 kilometers. Trust me, we still have time for decongestion. Trust me, we still have time to do planning and to decongest. Only thing is that government should invite the leaders from corporate who make sense to them, instead of inviting people who come and attend and then leave without any actions.
correct. Imagine they have experts from all across the globe to help them.
There should be a selection criteria. They should take into consideration the profile of the people they're inviting. Then they should go. I mean, it should be a process, elimination process, right? So that you get the best of the best to kind of help you in these decision makings. That's
I
important.
think involvement of the public is lacking, or at least those with expertise. But as an IT professional yourself, are you able to find work-life balance in a city like Bangalore? Please come this way. Come on.
No, we are not in IT. We are supplying the IT solutions. We providing the support services.
Okay.
We completely facility services. Tech mobile.
Is there ease of doing business in Bangalore?
Yeah. Tech driven drive. We are called wheel.
Right. Do you find ease in doing business in Bangalore?
Since last of 7 to 8 years in doing the business in.
fine.
No problem. Since I think it's.
Influx of people and business really shows that, right? I think this people are coming here because of they do see there is a ease of doing business compared to some of the other states, right? So that's why people are coming in, businesses are coming in, a lot of global capability centers are coming in, right? So that means people do still see Bangalore, there is a chance, there is an opportunity, there is a talent pool. It's more about, it's also for the policymakers to think about how to take care of these people.
Come on in. Let me get the young girl here as well. You're working with a IT firm?
Yeah, I'm working for MSc.
Tell me, how do you feel Bangalore's work culture, the IT culture particularly? First of all, you have concerns of layoff, but at the same time, there's this halo around the Bangalore Silicon Valley, saying that it's one of the best and the most supreme. Do you still feel you're living that premium experience?
It is very much in the sense of weather, and in sense of
Weather, that's the only thing that wins.
that is a major point.
Absolutely.
And in sense of traffic, I prefer using metros
Right.
or public transport. It is very much convenient who are staying in a city and not in a north region or other.
Where you put up?
I stay in central Bangalore.
Okay, so
So it is very much convenient for me so far, but there are inconvenience of traveling who doesn't have a public transport across
okay,
other areas of Bangalore.
yeah, okay.
So it is very much, but the infrastructure still has to be developed
yeah,
comparatively.
yeah, one rain and it exposes the city. Yeah.
Exactly, especially in the tech parks like Manyata and all, it's completely drowned.
Hey, why don't you pick your little doggy there? I want to see him. Yeah.
We spoke about waterlogging.
Yeah.
But what is the root cause of waterlogging? Rain, it exposes Bangalore, I agree. But why? What is happening?
Yeah.
We are throwing garbage into the gutter, we are clogging the drains, which is resulting in water clogging.
Yeah, true.
And if you spoke about the opportunities in Bangalore,
Yeah.
if you see the population increase, it is growing in a rapid manner,
But
which
then
means
how do you stop population increase? You have IT companies hiring by the dozen. And as much as there are layoffs, there are also hires, and there are hires for many other different parts of the country and the world. So you can't stop population.
I mean to say there is a lot of opportunities in Bangalore. You need to upskill yourself to grab that opportunity. So it's not about layoffs. Layoffs are happening. Yes, maybe. If it is 10%, but you still have 20%
But
opportunities
you're
to
saying
grow.
people are coming in by the dozen. Does that make this the most sought after sector in Bangalore in compared to other IT tech parks?
We also have place. Government is expanding. If you see now in North Bangalore, they're coming up with campus, better infrastructure. We have a lot of land available, which is going to get into tier 2 cities like Mysore, Mandya, and other locations.
So we are the most sought after.
Absolutely, absolutely. The land area is key for us.
So Bengaluru IT sector is the most sought after. You have Hyderabad also. You have Pune. Do you still believe that Bangalore stands at the top?
No, it's a topmost choice for all the IT companies.
Right, okay.
Like yesterday, you must have heard Donald Trump asking Tim Cook not to expand.
Yeah.
But I can bet you that Tim Cook will come back to Bangalore, and he is almost installing 3,000 crore worth Apple factory in Bangalore.
right.
And Bangalore is the place for people to live and work and prosper.
I'd like to ask you, since you have a pet in hand, is Bangalore pet friendly? Very important question, because I know every second, very friendly.
It is very much. It is.
What's his name?
Aiko.
Aiko. How long have you had him?
It's 7 months.
And it's easy to take him around
It is.
in public transport?
Not very much. But you do have a cab services that they don't deny.
They don't deny.
They
Okay. So Bangalore is pet friendly. Someone said yes.
Very friendly. I'm not a friendly person, so I know. It's very friendly. We have people carrying their pets everywhere, and you can't call a dog a dog. It's a pet or it's a kid. So yeah, so it is very pet friendly, and we have restaurants, we have a lot of resorts which are pet friendly. So it is.
Okay, excellent. Okay, that makes me feel good. Yeah, sir, you right? No, he wanted to speak. Okay, so now that I found you, I'd like to ask you. There's been a lot of misconception, and many of them coming with actual place of credibility. No, my question, I think you're not expecting, is that there's been a lot of backlash over Kannada, Hindi, not knowing the regional language, and therefore, people getting bullied. What would you like to convey to those outsiders who feel that Kannadigas are are bullies? That if you do not know, there has been a lot of talk around those being bullied if you do not speak Kannada. There are certain groups, not all, but it's a perception. It's a perception, and what would you like to say to those who worry to come here?
So, speaking about Kannada, so just respect the language when you're in the when you're in the state. That is what I would tell.
Yeah.
See, Bangalore is a very, very friendly place which lets in a lot of people from a lot of other states, which gives you a lot of opportunities. But then you need to respect. When you're at a place, you definitely need to give that respect which is there, which is the culture which is being carried along
When you
for
say
such a
give,
long time.
when you say
Yes.
give respect, what do you mean? Give us an example of how do you pay respect to a language that you don't know?
Okay, see, so we are not forcing people to speak Kannada. We definitely are very friendly, letting people talk however they want and whatever language they are comfortable with. So that does not mean you come suppress what is already there and then you try to
How
kind
do
of
you suppress? What is suppress?
So what people do is, no, we cannot speak Kannada. Okay, 100% agreed. See, localites here, especially in Bangalore and in South Bangalore, people know more than 5-6 languages. Where people are definitely talking back to you in the language that you know.
And fair, right? If Kannadigas can talk Hindi and other languages, there should be a little bit of initiation from your side as
Yes,
well.
yes. We are supporting them by talking whatever language they know. Yes.
Cosmopolitan city, and it is encouraging all the people from different cities, and we speak their language rather than they speaking our language. We make their life so comfortable staying here. So in that context, if we are expecting somebody to speak in language, it is not an offense.
No, expecting someone to speak versus bullying someone for not speaking, assault, that kind of assault, criticism, it is now overbearing. And unfortunately, absolutely, but unfortunately, it's brought a certain name and a brand on Bengaluru or Karnataka Kannadigas. Because of some people indulging in violence, there is this perception built.
Yeah, if somebody has done something, it doesn't mean that you have to generalize it. In fact, now as a Kannadigas, we have adjusted so much. Like anybody comes from any part of the world, we adjust so much that we never ever make them feel that they are outside from the
We
outside.
have a platform, Nabila, where we have invited all the corporate people to come and learn Kannada free of cost. We have an online
And
course.
we are learning the
and trust
classes,
me, having worked in 6 multinationals, the default DNA, what Kannadigas, we love everybody. We don't bully anybody. We don't bully anybody. They're like, in fact, most of my friends are North Indians than Kannadigas. So that's how we treat them.
No, absolutely. I totally reckon, I totally believe you, but do you have something to say?
I'm standing in front of him. I am the North Indian. I'm comfortable.
Have you felt
I'm
absolutely
comfortable with the group.
No, not just the group. I'm saying, have you been
Everybody,
largely
see,
comfortable with
Broken Hindi also works. Broken English also works.
broken Kannada also?
Broken
works?
Kannada for me works.
But you made a conscious effort to speak in broken Kannada at least. Right? That itself is showing respect. Yeah.
Talking about the bullying, the thing, whatever. It is. So some places in Karnataka itself, they said no Kannada. Why? When being in the Kannada, at least that is what you were asking about the respect. You have to respect the language and the local language. Even I have seen a lot of improvement in terms of the nightlife. You are talking about the pubs and all. Now we play Kannada songs. Kannada songs. Okay. Forget about Karnataka because I am into event management. Whenever we travel across the world, Sri Lanka, I go Tbilisi, Georgia, Europe, Dubai, we played Kannada songs in Dubai.
Nice.
Right? So that's what we do. And give respect and take respect.
Absolutely.
That's what we as a Kannadiga we do.
IPL also you can love for Karnataka people. Anywhere you go for the status and also then love for only Karnataka team only Bangalore. Where you go, Bangalore.
Bangalore team is the most popular. RCB is certainly the most popular.
If you look at Bangalore as such, if you see the number of people from outside Bangalore coming in here, show me any other city which is so accommodative in India.
Absolutely. I totally agree.
We need to, bottom line, right?
No, but then there was such a perception built on social media platforms that, oh, Kannadigas are so aggressive. I agree. And I don't believe it because
If you speak Hindi, they don't respond. They don't respond. Karnataka, anywhere you go, even you don't know any language, they will respond. It works. It works.
We respond.
That is what we
actually.
respect you. That's what we respect you, and please respect us. That's it.
Absolutely. Very
Respond back in their language, yeah?
absolutely and very well said. You're North Indian?
I am a Kannadiga.
Okay.
Now Kannada ಮಾತಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. For me, what happens is jagla adbedi. Don't get into Kannada just to fight. I know you have to get your work done. ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಟಾಕ್ ಇನ್ ಕನ್ನಡ. ಕನ್ನಡ ಬರೋದಿಲ್ವಾ, ಕನ್ನಡ ಬರಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಬರಲ್ಲ ಅಂದಿದ್ದಕ್ಕೆ ಜಗಳ ಆಡ್ತಾರೆ ನೋಡೋಣ. ಬಟ್ ಅಟ್ ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ ಟ್ರೈ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಲೆಟ್ಸ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಟಾಕ್ ಕನ್ನಡ, ಲರ್ನ್ ಅ ಲಿಟಲ್ ಬಿಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಕನ್ನಡ. ಯು ಡೋಂಟ್ ನೋ, ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಸೋ ಮೆನಿ ಪಾಡ್ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ವಿಚ್ ವಿಲ್ ಟೀಚ್ ಯು ಕನ್ನಡ. ಸೊ ಕನ್ನಡ ಕಲ್ತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ.
At least for the fact that the land has given you so much, you're thriving here, you're working here, you've made a home here. I think the most basic is to learn Kannada. I totally agree with you. You don't have to be an expert or Kuempu, but all you have to do.
You said it right. You said it right. You said it
All
right.
you have to do is basic Kannada to manage your way around, just so that you show respect to the people of this land. A final word I'd like to ask you on work-life balance for the youngsters, the young folks who want to come into the IT sector. Is it still lucrative? Because we are hearing stories about how people have absolutely no time for themselves, mental health issues that are now on the rise. There seems to be no end. Some of you said that you never switched off. I think I heard someone who said, I never switch off after work because there's constant work.
It's a myth. If you ask me, it's a myth. There's a lot of opportunity and a kind of a scope for work-life balance.
Yeah.
It is how you manage yourself at your work is very important.
Correct. Let me ask this lady also. How do you balance your work?
See, I work for a US company and I work till 12 o'clock in the night.
Yeah.
So that's how it goes. It's all about
You're
how.
fine. You're okay with it.
I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it.
I support Jay what he said. Only the difference is the generation gap. So Gen Z, Gen Alpha, so all together this is looking like it's messed up, but it is under our control. So how you manage it and how you work
I
balance it.
think nowadays corporates are doing a lot to ensure the well-being of employees.
Yeah.
There's lots on the floor as well.
Correct.
And
But you know what I feel, ma'am, that from your generation to the current generation, cost of living is just shot up. So a lot of the youngsters today, I feel that no matter how much work they're putting in, first of all, they're not as efficient as the millennials. But I mean, jokes apart.
They born with the apple at hand. Okay. that's a
Jokes
different
apart,
story.
not to be the bullies on the Gen Z, but I would say that there's a lot of work pressure because of expensive lifestyle.
I think it is important to recognize that those mental health issues do exist. A lot of people do challenge that. They don't even acknowledge that something like that exists, right? So that is one thing. A lot of things companies are also doing for their employees, which we should appreciate. But I think a lot of people also tell that even though you have all those benefits, I'm not getting enough time to really avail those benefits. So that is something individually you have to prioritize, right? Like if you're so ambitious that you want to climb ladder just like that, you probably would expect, anybody would expect you to put in time. But if you can manage your expectations at the right levels and really grow, that will be really helpful for yourself as well as for the rest of the group.
Right, ma'am. How do you manage work-life balance, mental health? What kind of activity do you do to ensure you keep sane?
I hit the gym in the morning, so I also make time for that 1 hour, non-Kannadiga. Okay, and I go in the morning like 1 hour. I think it's how we manage time that matters a lot. It's best that we have our priorities right at the workplace.
I think one thing I understood well is if you want to succeed or want to climb up the ladder fast, like he said, then you put in the hours. If not, if you
No, I have two views on this,
Yeah,
right?
okay.
One, your question about work-life balance. I think we have it. I've been in the industry for 35 years. I don't see a challenge. Yeah, there are days where you do a little bit of an extra hours, but there are days where you don't do 8 hours or 9 hours, whatever you do, right? And what more can you ask when you have a hybrid work culture today, right? People work from home 2-3 days in a week. I think that's the best.
home is desirable. Do you all feel work from home is
Balance. It's a good balance, right? And talking about standard of living, I think it is the habits that people cultivate, right? You talk of the next generation, the habits they cultivate. When I started my career, much lesser salary, still I was happy doing what I was doing. Today, the salary levels have gone up, right? And even today, you're complaining the standard of living has gone up. I'm not able to meet, the cost of living. I think it's a hype.
It's a hype.
You talk about Gen Z, right? What is their lifestyle actually? Why is it impacting the work-life balance? It's because they are awake the whole night and they tend to sleep in the daytime. So if this is what our future generation is, obviously work-life balance will have an impact. Forget about reaching to the work. They have to even.
I have a little different view.
Yeah.
It all depends on which industry you are in and what function you are in.
I
You know,
can tell
it's-
you in journalism, we have no work-life balance.
That is what I'm saying. It's easy to say time management. You can't manage time. You can listen to podcast or music in the traffic. That is balance, balancing out. That's it.
Wow. The podcast in traffic is one of the ways you can strike balance. Lovely. I love
That
that.
is what I do. I listen to a lot of crime podcasts. That is what keeps me going throughout the traffic. And I've told a lot of people, please do that.
I love this because what I sense is it's what you find happiness in. It's what you find happiness in. If you don't have the time, even in traffic, you listen to a song, it's a stress buster. He's fairly young, so let me ask you, what's your work-life balance like?
My work-life balance, so it's a general 9 to 6, the way it goes in the general IT companies. But then, yeah, after 6 o'clock, you're free. You're good to go, whatever you want to do.
Okay.
So, staying in central Bangalore, I think
People say, the boys your age who say that I work post working hours, I'm constantly trying to meet deadlines, and it's just exhausting because it's never ending. What would you say to them?
you definitely have your Saturday, Sundays off. So, your hobbies and your passions, whatever it is, you do.
Saturday, Sunday really off in the IT sector? Is Saturday, Sunday really off? Or do they latch you on with some work?
I guess it's off.
It's off. I think it's off. Yeah.
For me it's off because I work in sales and clients won't be there.
Yeah.
So I'm safe.
Okay, but what if you've not met deadlines? Then does it...
of real estate, you will be second
See, Labila, we all work in real estate, corporate real estate. For us, there is no off, there is nothing which we can take. But it all boils down to how do you manage your time and how do you organize your meetings and what are your important stakeholders. So that boils down to that particular thing. But I agree with you, the age group of 20 to 28, the young guys who work in IT, you're right, they put on a lot of hours. Some of the organizations misuse them and they make their life completely miserable. There are organizations.
In startups, you have to work. Startups, you have a limited people, and it's just a start of the career. People put 20 hours, in work itself.
You've been basically presenting reality to me right from the start.
No. I am a IT guy also. I am the CTO, so I know what happens in IT.
So if you're at a startup, you work long hours. A final word of advice to the youngsters, chalo, as we wrap.
Why?
Youngsters from you.
So see, the whole thing is to bring that balance into the group and then make sure that you have those energy levels. As I told you earlier, Bangalore is such a safe city. We do this kind of engagement in the morning, in the evening, and we believe in meeting people who make sense to the business, people who make sense to the community. That's where this group is focused. We are not here for today. We are here for last 5 years. We've been talking to people. We've been talking to people, and we will not leave this experiment exercise till the time we make difference to community.
That's lovely. I like the fact that you all are doing this great service in a busy city like Bengaluru. But that said, there is job satisfaction in the IT sector. You feel?
Yeah, I mean, as Sir mentioned, right, the satisfaction is at different levels for different people. It's all based on your priorities. A lot of companies are also taking active measures to kind of support. But at the same time, I would advise anybody, like Gen Z, any millennials, prioritize your health first. That is very important in this whole ecosystem. And trust me, India's most important asset is its human capital. And we really have to take care of our physical as well as mental health.
No health, no wealth, nothing actually if you're not. Health
is wealth.
Thank you very much. A final word on pollution levels in Bengaluru. Are you all okay with it? Do you feel, no, it's bad?
It's very bad.
You said it's fine.
Yeah, the kind of traffic we are in, much better than
People from Delhi, it's a swarga.
I saw how you ran and came from there.
No, you must know it's better than, of course it is choking now because of the kind of infrastructure development we are into. We are too ambitious, isn't it, Nabila? We want everything. So we need to balance it, unfortunately.
Man, where did this generation go? The generation that's happy with anything given to them. They really find peace in anything that's given to them. I think that's the bunch of them that I spoke to here. Thank you very much. I'll let you have the rest of your Sunday and have fun. I appreciate you talking to News 9. Thank you.